Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Today I am doing a root retouch and full balayage on my client Emily. As you can see in this before clip, Emily has some roots. She came in with previous black box dye in her hair. This is our third visit together and I have been slowly lightening her up. Regrowth with box colored hair can be tricky because it's so dark, so I have been touching up her roots with permanent color. The last time I used Matrix So Color in the shade 3N. Today I switched it to 4N because I am trying to slowly lighten that root color as it grows out so that eventually she can just have her natural color base without needing to touch up her regrowth. I apply this color right to the root area. Every few sections I'll turn my brush sideways and just sort of feather it down a little bit so that there are no harsh lines. Once I get all that regrowth covered, I go and mix up my lightener. I am using Wella Free Lights, Matrix V Lights, and a little bit of Redken Freehand to make the perfect painting consistency for me. I am using 30 Volume Developer along with Olaplex. Her hair is slightly compromised after years of box dye, flat ironing, and previously having those ends lifted twice already, so I decided to go with 30 Volume rather than 40. Painting with a 3-inch chip brush on Emily today. I love these brushes because they apply a lot of lightener in one pass, yet they still have super soft bristles, so they're really easy to blend with. You can find chip brushes like the one I'm using at any hardware store or Walmart. They're only good for about 2 uses though, because the bristles are natural, so they get gross and gummy after having lightener on them a couple times, so buy them in bulk. I backcomb each subsection a little bit. We're trying to get Emily pretty light, so I'm not dropping very much hair in between. Sometimes I'm not dropping any. I'm doing a lot of surface painting, so I still wouldn't say this is a full ombre. I want to leave some dimension through the ends. I did start with this first section with my Framar brush rather than the chip brush because there was some really light pieces on her ends that I didn't want to overlap the lightener, so I wanted more precise detailing that the Framar brush gave me because it's smaller. You can see I feather it up in a V pattern, going up on each side and meeting down more saturated at the ends. Then I like to run my finger gently over the section back and forth really fast to blend everything out. When I run my finger across like that, I'm not pinching the hair in my fingers like you would for a color melt. Since I am surface painting, I am taking just one finger softly over the top, and then I am taking my finger and running it softly across the undersection to blend as well. You don't want to pinch these sections because that would cause the lightener that's sitting on the top to bleed through, and that could give us some funky bleed marks or give us too much of a two-toned ombre look, which I'm not going for here. I dip that chip brush in the lightener and then swipe it across the back of my hand and leave the leftover lightener there. I find this technique works great for me rather than using a paddle or something, so I don't get all jumbled trying to hold a ton of things, when the back of my hand works great for when I want to fully saturate those ends and also hold the lightener as I paint, so I don't have to go back to the bowl as I'm applying. I can kind of hold that section tight and re-dip using the lightener on the back of my hand. Emily has a long side bang that she's working on growing out. When clients have a bang like this, I like to pinch the section, slide my fingers down, let the bang drop out, and then just balayage the section on its own in the same V pattern. And then after that, pick up the bangs and do the same thing separately. Always focus the lightener up higher around the face, feathering down further and further away from the face that you get. I think the key to a nice seamless balayage is to smooth it out with my finger, especially underneath, because when you surface paint you can easily push harder in some areas and that could bleed through to just some of the hairs underneath and create spots. So you hold it really tight and take your finger and softly but quickly slide it back and forth over the top, and then do the same back and forth over the bottom. It should look just as blended on the bottom as it does on the top. If Emily's hair was healthier and I was trying to get a lot of lift out of her, I would use foil sheets instead of the mesh to separate my sections. But because, like I said, some of those pieces were pretty light and pretty compromised, I didn't want to cook those in foils and have them get over processed and cause any breakage. You can see some parts I am not bringing the lightener all the way down to the very ends. Her already really blonde pieces I am leaving out, making sure to smoothly blend into those, but you don't want to fully saturate anything that is already compromised or as light as you already need it. There's no reason to put lightener over top of that again. Another time that this root touch-up would be good is I have a lot of people ask me, what do I do if my client has grays? This is how I would do a gray-haired client. I would find the right root color for them, touch up the regrowth first, and then go through with the lightener and balayage. You need to be careful though with permanent color. You don't want the lightener and the color to touch at all because it can leave a warm band where it touches. Some people can get away with this if you're going for an overall warm look, but I like to keep the lightener and the color not touching and use the starting color as that blending shade in between. kind of get an idea of the consistency I like with the lightener by when I pick up some of it out of the bowl and swipe it across my hand. It's thick enough so that if I were to turn my hand upside down, it won't drip off, but still soft enough that the paintbrush can spread it across the hair. As you can see, I divide the hair into the 4 standard quadrants going off of my client's natural part, doing the 2 sides first, and then I combine the 2 back sections into one and brick lay my subsections all the way up, continuing that V pattern on each of them. If anyone has more questions about the placement in the back, let me know and I can take a more zoomed up, slowed down view of how I paint the back for another video. After Emily was ready, I took her back to the bowl to tone her. I am toning her with Redken Shades EQ in 08V and 09T with a little bit of clear to dilute and equal parts processing solution. I then always add 1/8 ounce of Olaplex No. 1 into my toners. I watch over the toner until I'm happy with the shade and then rinse. Before shampooing, I apply Olaplex No. 2 and let that sit for 10 minutes. I then shampoo and condition and bring her back to my chair. Once we get back to my chair, I comb her out, cut and style her, and she is good to go. Her roots are covered, her ends are nice and light. I am very happy with how this color turned out. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions or requests, please let me know. Stay tuned for more videos, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.